You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. Monday, June 16th. Thank you guys so much for joining us. A beautiful Monday it is. Hopefully everyone had a fantastic Father's Day weekend. If you can tell a little bit, the voice is not great today. It's been a long weekend. It was a fantastic weekend. The Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf outing was a big success. We'll talk a lot about it throughout the week and, of course, today here as well. But I guess I talked a lot this weekend. So it's grinding. It's going to get there. We'll get through it and all those kind of things. So bear with me when it comes to the funky voice throughout today's show, but we'll get through it. If you're watching live on YouTube, we thank you for that. We appreciate you guys. If you have subscribed, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please do so ASAP. We're also live on X, and of course, you can check us out on all the podcasting platforms as well. Spotify, Podbean, Apple, everything you need when it comes to the podcasting platforms as well. So it was a little longer weekend than I expected. Had to get ready for the golf outing on Saturday. So we have a lot to catch up with. We'll get to that throughout today's show. Coming up in a matter of moments, the lineup for today, Tom Kakert and Kyle Huesman, both of the Hawkeye Report guys. Join me in a little bit. We'll talk about the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf outing a little bit, but more importantly, Caitlin Clark's return this past weekend. Those two knuckleheads did a fantastic fun draft of the Lisa Bluter era. You can check out that podcast right now on the Hawkeye Report podcast. We'll talk a little bit about that as well, and a lot of golf. So those two coming up in just a matter of moments. Then later on in hour number one, we'll be joined by Brad Monier. He heads up the Monier, excuse me. He heads up the Walcott 5K run walk for ALS. It's a fantastic event coming up. We'll talk to him about that in just a little bit. And then also in hour number two, Bandits owner Dave Heller will join us. The Bandits playing some good baseball right now in the middle of a 12-game homestand. So we'll talk with Dave Heller coming up in a little bit as well. So as I mentioned, a little longer weekend than I expected. So I want to go through some weekend thoughts, kind of get caught up on a few things before we get rocking and rolling today. And one of them came, I believe, on Thursday into Friday. Word came that Taylor Panel, former Rock Island standout and now former Tennessee standout for softball, was jumping in the transfer portal. She did that and then followed that up quickly with an announcement that she is headed to Texas Tech to play softball. And my first thought then is still my thought now. Good for Taylor. That's outstanding. That's fantastic. That young lady is going to make a lot of money playing the sport she loves over the next couple years, which is awesome. Really good news, really good stuff. I know there's that portion of people, especially in Tennessee, that don't love it. It's ironic because Tennessee has benefited from the transfer portal, and now a lot of them don't like it. And I get that. If you don't like the transfer portal, if you don't like all of the movement in college athletics, I get that. There's a strong case to that. I probably agree with most of that. But it's not what's going on. It's not the landscape of college sports. It's college football, college basketball, women's basketball, wrestling, now softball, baseball. It is what it is. It's the playing field that everybody's playing on right now. So if you don't like it, I get it, and you can complain about it, and maybe we tweak it moving forward. They're trying all those kind of things. But don't blame the student athlete, the young person. It was funny when the transfer portal season was rolling when it came to basketball. there's that backlash on all of them. I remember Brock and Owen, and they went through kind of that stuff as well. Don't hate on the young person. You do the same thing. I mean, you 1,000% would do the same thing. Taylor Panel's going to make life-changing money. That's outstanding. That's fantastic. Doing what she loves, the sport she loves. So if you don't like the game, the playing field, all those kind of things, that's one thing. But stop with the nonsense towards the players, the athletes. We would do the same thing. I know you would do it. Don't act like you wouldn't. You would take a ton of money to play the sport that you love. She'll have 2 years, I believe, of eligibility left. Taylor's been fantastic with us, fantastic with me. He's been on the show twice, including a couple weeks ago. So we wish her nothing but the best. I'd also say this, in general, battles aren't won on social media. Being on TV for almost 25 years, and trust me, had a lot of people that disagreed with things I said, my coverage of stuff, me in general. No reason. You don't win anything on social media. It's just better to rise above, ignore the nonsense. A lot of times on social media, it's the vocal minority. So, anyways, that's my life lesson, if you will, for the Monday. But best of luck to Taylor Panel now with Texas Tech. And we wish her the best of luck. Maybe we'll catch up with her sometime this summer as well. So a lot of golf this weekend. And no, not the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf outing. Obviously, the U.S. Open taking center stage. A bunch of different thoughts with this. First and foremost, congratulations to J.J. Spawn winning in dramatic fashion. And not dramatic is the fact that he had to two-putt. So he didn't need this putt to win. But it was kind of cool the way it finished, and we'll kind of show it to you as we talk about it. We go to 18, needing to two-putt to par to win the U.S. Open, this from about 64 feet away, and a very cool way to clinch it right there, J.J. Spawn. The winner at the U.S. Open, one thing, and I'll steal this from Tom Johnston, who's covered golf here in the Quad Cities for the John Deere Classic for a long time. J.J. Spawn was at the JDC last year. And he put together a nice 3 rounds, and he was in contention going into Sunday. Obviously didn't win, but I think that's and TJ's point in his social media post was you have no idea what major champion is going to be in the John Deere Classic. Future major champion is going to be at the John Deere Classic coming up in just a couple of weeks. So cool finish. One thing I will add, I didn't love... golf doesn't need to be easy, but man, I don't know if one of the major championships has to be where one person finishes under par and it was like a survival of the fittest. That was different to me. I don't love that. I don't think that's what major championships should be. Now I don't think that should be, 20 under, 30 under, all that kind of stuff, but I didn't love the fact that, and it got difficult. I mean, it got even worse after the rain delay. Hats off to JJ Spawn. I mean, he was bad early yesterday. Excuse me. And he came back and did well and won. So congratulations, JJ Spawn. We mentioned the John Deere Classic right around the corner. And yet last week when I was getting ready for the golf outing, at the show that I missed, we would have talked a lot about how about you add Ricky Fowler, Daniel Berger to a really good field already. Max Homer's making his way there. Jason Day, Zach Johnson, all of those kind of things. So it's shaping up to be a really good John Deere Classic field once again. They'll continue to add to that. Then you add the concerts, the golf, all that kind of stuff. We can't wait to be out at the John Deere Classic coming up in just a few weeks. So plenty of good golf to talk about in the weeks ahead. Now we have to talk about some bad golf as well. Because the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf outing took center stage on Saturday. I cannot thank enough of everyone who came out to the event. Whether you golfed with us, 34 teams, I believe, whether you volunteered. How about this? On one of our contest holes, we had OVC Softball Player of the Year, Peyton Brown, and Wisconsin All-American softball player, Kendra Lewis, helping us out. Can't thank those two enough. We had a blast. I mean, it was perfect weather. Hats off to James Zahara. He was on the show last week. 11 for 11 for Jay-Z. If you want your golf outing to go well, find a weather guy to golf in it and you'll get good weather. So everything was great. Can't thank people enough for coming out. Can't thank everybody, so I'm not going to do that. Snoop's food was amazing during the event, the chips and salsa on the course. And then, of course, he had the dinner afterwards. He's awesome. Thanks some coaches from around the area that came out. Rusty Van Wetzinga golfed with myself and Pat Anger and Joe Conklin. Nick Welch was there. John Schlemmer made the way down from Sterling. Coach LeMay from Sterling Newman played with him. Thomas Smith. Alleman baseball coach was there. I'm missing others, so I apologize if you're a coach and you're watching this and you're like, hey, you idiot, I was there as well. But really cool and special for some of these guys that I work with for so long and continue to work alongside with, to take the time to come out and enjoy the event. Thank you to Charles Jugasol. You saw on several local TV stations around the area that Charles was in attendance, made the way from Notre Dame. Busy time for him, but got in town. Charles's team finished third. So hats off to Charles Jugasol's team. I guess Mark Vanata, Alleman Athletic Director, was the quote-unquote captain of the team. I think Charles, and I don't know if this is true, but Charles carried the team. That's what I'm going with. If anyone wants to argue with me, go argue with Charles. He's 6'6" and 300 some pounds. So thanks to him for coming in. But what we started, what you want to talk a lot about, we started this 3 years ago. We do the Iowa, Illinois Golf Challenge. And it started a couple years ago. Logan Lee captained the Iowa team, and Matthew Bailey captained the Illinois team. And Team Iowa won that year, and they won the first one. Last year, it was Rusty Van Wetzinga at Iowa, captaining that team, and Cole Rusk from Illinois. And Cole Rusk's team and Illinois won. So we were tied at 1-1, third annual event this year. And first off, I was worried because Cole texted me maybe the day before, and he's like, hey, here's the schedule for Saturday. We're going to be pushing it. We're probably going to be late. And I remember they were late last year, but I didn't know how late. And it wasn't too late last year. In fact, I think they got there right on time. So I was like, yeah, they'll be fine. It's no big deal. So, and then I saw Ken Prince at registration. He's like, yeah, they're on their way. So we're getting ready to rock. And I got a text message that I noticed, excuse me, from Cole, and they were going to be a lot late. They were like 2:30 getting there. We started at 1 o'clock. So I figured, hey, they'll golf the back nine, and we'll just go head to head with the back nine. Well, they kept rolling, and they got through everything. So Team Iowa came in. It was Addison Ostrenga, starting tight end for the University of Iowa, was the captain. On his team was Drew Stevens, Hank Brown, and Alex Eichmann were all on that team. And they came in, they're eating, they're at 16 under, they're feeling really good. The Illini guys keep rolling. They want to get everything done. Cole's team was Tanner Arkin, Jordan Anderson, and Mason Murrigan. A couple other tight ends, and then a linebacker, and they got in, and they're super excited. And they said, "Hey, we finished 16 under as well." So what we did is we went back to the practice green, and we did like a putt off. And so we did one. We set a putt up, and both teams tied. So we went to another putt off, and it was Addison Ostrenga versus Mason Murrigan, and I think Addison was basically in 3, and I'll kind of show you what happened from here. This is Mason's second shot. He knocks it down, and they win it. We'll take a look. So you can see they're reading the putt nicely, and he was wearing a Tigers hat, and he's a Lions fan, so I felt pretty good for him. Not the longest putt, but it had some movement.
That's it, baby. That's it. It's still.
You hear Cole. You heard Cole yell, and still. There it is. The winners of the third annual Iowa, Illinois Golf Challenge. 3 tight ends. And, of course, the Tigers hat right there. Mason Murrigan, who knocked down the putt to win it. A cool story between Cole and Mason. They both, unfortunately, suffered ACL injuries last year. And so they became good friends while recovering and going through that rehab. Both doing great, both healthy as can be. And both of them, can't thank them enough for making their way. And then here's everybody. And hats off. I can't thank these guys enough. 4 from Illinois, the foursome from Iowa. They put some old fat guy in the middle, took a picture as well. So congratulations to Team Illinois. They win for the second straight year. They now have 2 of the last 3 victories, and they don't play. They don't play this year, which drives me absolutely crazy. But Illinois with some bragging rights, and Cole Rusk will be on the show hopefully tomorrow, so we'll talk more. Cole can take a victory lap and all those kinds of things as well. But again, from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank these guys enough for helping make my dad's golf outing even more memorable than it usually is. And we're joined now by 2 of the worst golfers I've ever seen in my entire life. Tom Kakert
I
and
was
Kyle Huesman.
terrible Saturday.
Were
I was
you?
terrible. Oh,
All right,
I was awful.
Here's how I want to start. How was Bailey Turner?
Bailey
was good.
Great.
Was like
I actually
Bailey and Kyle carried us. Dennis did. Dennis helped,
no holes in one?
but we couldn't.
No.
We couldn't make a putt to save our life.
We were okay. So that makes it sound like we're bad at putting. We are actually very good at getting like 2-putt pars. Like we had no tough par putts the entire day. It'd be like a tap in from like a foot away, but we couldn't make a lengthy birdie putt at all.
You guys actually putt more
We
than
didn't make.
twice?
I don't think we. I think we made maybe 2 putts over 10 feet the whole day, and
it wasn't
probably
that
Bailey
weird.
made both of them.
Yeah, so
thing
Bailey was, I mean, I don't want to say talking a big game because I think he's good, but he had a little swagger coming in. He said he was playing some of the best golf of his life. He
drove
lived
the
up to
ball
it.
really well yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
So
So I was starting to get frustrated because I think I went back and I counted my head. I think I hit 10 of 13 fairways with my 3-wood, but Bailey would just walk up and hit driver down the middle of the fairway with the pink ball. So we used like none of my 3-wood drives. And I'm like, man, I need to go play by myself if I'm going to hit like this.
Did you keep the pink ball the entire time?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I
So
won't
we're
get
keeping it
into
for next year too. So we'll have 2.
I won't get into it
Yeah,
too
that's
much,
right.
but ask Joe Conklin his thoughts on the pink ball when you get a chance. Tommy.
Did Joe lose it in over, or did he last at 1.5 holes?
He
Did it go
got no, he
past
did.
1.5?
He did, but he doesn't hit it. Like he couldn't hit it very far. Like everything was bad. He lost it for the last time on 6. He shanked it, got mad, and then said he's done with the pink ball and a whole bunch of other words I can't use here on the show, and said I'm done with it because he thought that since he bought it, he was the only one who could use it. You guys know anybody can use it, right?
Yeah.
You just
We floated it around.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Except for me, I'm the
thought
only
we
one
did
that doesn't
we did
hit
a really
the
good
pink
job
ball.
of picking. I think we did a really good job of picking and choosing when to use it because the only hole that we actually had any risky play was when I hit 8-iron off that was it the par 4 around the trees or whatever. That was the only risky hole that we played.
Yeah, the dogleg right hole. Was it like 5 or 6? Was that 5?
It is.
Yeah,
4.
and that was the only risky
5,
hole we
5.
played the
4.
pink ball.
5. It's 5. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the only risky hole we used it on. And I got the 8-iron out in the fairway, and I don't think we made a putt on that hole either.
And we still got a par.
I'm impressed with Kyle's just usage of like are you using an 8-iron off the tee box on a par 4?
No, because I had on that 5th hole.
Oh, it's
if
a
you
big
just go
advantage.
up to the red, if you go up to the red tees,
Yeah.
you don't have to hit because it's still pretty tight from the red tees.
Yeah.
So you don't have to hit 3-wood. You just hit 7, 8-iron out there and just be smart with it.
I will say this.
I got us around the corner.
I will say this before we get into the stuff people care about. On that hole, Joe did use the pink ball, and he ended up in the fringe.
Really?
Like he killed it, and he ended up in the front fringe, and it was red, so it was an easier. I don't think we made the eagle putt. We end up tapping in for birdie, But it was weird because we didn't do great, and then Pat Angerer showed up because he was there late. And I think he missed the first 6 holes because that's how he is. And then we started picking up a little steam a little bit. Then we started rocking and
Is that when
rolling.
you guys started cheating?
Probably something.
Yeah.
No, I just felt like
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
we played freer, if that makes any sense.
Oh,
And I didn't know, but
of course you play freer when you're just writing down whatever you want on the scorecard.
Yeah, we'll take a 3.
no.
Because you at least had an honest guy from PV on your team at least.
Yeah, Rusty was great. What did you guys finish?
We were 10 under, but we didn't get anything. We rolled a 5 on the par 5
On the dice,
okay.
the dice hole.
Full disclosure for people watching this, and if you're still watching, God bless you. We rolled a 5, 5, 5, 6. That's $40.
We rolled 5 and a 6.
And then finally, I'm pot committed at that point. I'll be damned. I've already spent $40, which I spent 20 and Joe spent 20, but we've spent $40. I'm like, I'll do this all day. Plus it's going to a good cause. So we finally got a 2, which helped. And I said, so I paid $50 to get a 2 on that hole. Pretty dumb, but
my first roll, the ball or the dice was on a 3 and then just fell to a 5 and then So
the other one, it was on a 1. The other one was on a 1, and then it just rolled over to a 6.
We shot 10 under, but it was a true 10 under with no help. That was just our score. So
we'll catch up with Ked sometime too. Ked was out there, but it was a fun day. I appreciate you both for coming out. Your dad as well. It was a ton of fun. What? No, was your dad there?
No,
my dad?
No.
My dad has been there before.
He has been, but
he's been there in the past.
Yes.
So you kicked your dad off the team?
No.
I didn't know it. Tom's
he was hurt.
Tom's the one that picks the players.
No.
Tom,
he was
kicked
hurt.
his dad off the team?
Okay, so
hurt.
we were gonna have my dad on the team last year, but 2 weeks before we played, my dad had to get wrist surgery, so we got Bailey instead. And then Tom just asked Bailey again.
Bailey's good.
So yes, my dad was going to play for a second year, but then had to get wrist surgery last year.
Gotcha. But anyways, I appreciate you.
Bailey didn't play great last year, so he felt like he needed to come back.
Yeah, I think he had a good time.
He did.
Oh yeah, I think so.
That's the key. But thank you both for coming out. As we'll talk about throughout the week. Tomorrow, Cole Rusk is going to be on the show. But Team Iowa, Team Illinois, it was great to see those guys. Team Illinois was late. And they came in, they won a putt off, I guess is the best way to put it. So for the second time in 3 years, Team Illinois, and I'm losing my voice because of the outing. But just both of you guys, thank you guys for both being there. And it was a good time, Kyle. I know there's competitions and stuff, but it seems to be everybody has a good time when we get out there.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's really fun to just, I don't play a ton of golf because, I don't have the money to just go play rounds of golf 5 times a week or something. So, but it's really fun to get to see. You guys. I come on here with you for the show, but I get to see you in person, I guess, and see some other guys. And but yeah, it's always really fun and to just play some golf and with some guys like Dennis and Tom and Bailey. I work with them or around them, so to get to go play golf with them instead of being at Carver doing work, I guess is fun as well.
Tom, I don't know. You could tell it bugged Addison that they didn't win. That's 2 out of 3 years for Team Illinois. Ked's going to be smiling from ear to ear.
Of course he is, but I wish they played in football because Iowa would beat them this year.
Ooh. Do you believe that, or is that
Oh, yeah.
Here's what I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would be a really good game this year. And as a Quad Cityan that misses that kind of stuff, it's been a while since the teams have both been good and played football. If that makes sense.
I was going to say that. I was going to say it's been a long time. When was the last time Iowa-Illinois was a game that you were – I don't know when the last time was that it would have been a big game.
Tom, I'll let you.
Boy.
When's the last time where they were – here's what I'll say. Iowa's always been good, and when they took a little dip, it was Juice Williams, and they got good.
It was the Juice Williams – it was probably that Juice Williams game.
But they still weren't. Iowa wasn't great. Iowa ended up being that helped Iowa bounce back and have a good finish. But when they met, Illinois was like this, and Iowa was kind of going in the wrong direction, wasn't it? Wasn't that the Greenwood game too? Didn't Greenwood get a couple picks?
That was a different game. That was Brett's redshirt freshman year, I think. where he had that pick late in the game to win. But there was one after that where Iowa was good, and they lost on a field goal late down in Champaign.
What
It
year?
would be great. I think it could be a rank. It would have been
When
possibly
the
a ranked
winds
versus ranked game this year.
the winds were blowing from that south farm, which means the animal smells were strong at Memorial Stadium that day.
Tommy. Anyways, Cole's going to be on Tuesday, and we'll talk more about all that, and he'll have a little good time. But they all had a really fun time with it, and it was a good time. Any good stories before we move on to things that people care about that are watching? Anything you pick, like anything you'll take from Saturday that you can tell us? Don't say I cheated, because I didn't.
We cheated. No, just shout out Chase Randazzo for making us laugh after the tournament.
What did he do?
Oh,
Talking
he
crap
likes
to
talking
Pat?
to Pat.
Oh.
He likes talking to Pat, and that's always funny.
So for people
Hey,
watching,
and shout out to my good friend James Zahara. Got to visit with my son for a while about they
awesome.
nerded out talking weather for like 20 minutes.
oh, that's
So
awesome.
he and Jay-Z were like kindred souls talking weather.
You know what, Tommy? I have a weather nerd too. Carson is
Carson
was like
Wow.
starstruck. My 8-year-old was like starstruck when Zahara came rolling in with his backwards hat and everything. He was ready to rock. So no,
Jay-Z's
he's
the best.
11 for 11 when it comes to weather for the outing. So you got to tip your cap. Any shout out? Any good stories, Kyle? The old man was really bad. Tommy was just awful.
I was terrible. I couldn't get off the tee box.
We didn't have anything like a hole in one or anything. I mean, I thought I felt really good. I wish I was playing by myself. I played about as well as I have in a long time. So I mean, it was frustrating. Like I said, I hit a lot of fairways with my 3-wood, and Bailey was just walking up and out driving me from the red tees, so I didn't get to use any of my good drives.
No,
so,
hey.
So I'm playing golf with my dad this week on Friday, I think. So hopefully I can play similar.
No, I love the fact you guys are both there. I will see you both next year. I appreciate all that and all that good stuff. We'll keep talking about it throughout the week. Like I said, Cole Rusk is going to be on tomorrow. We might catch up with Ked because Ked was pretty excited and happy for the day too, which is good as well. I want to talk to both of you guys. Before we start, a few things I want to get to football-wise, and then I want to talk about Caitlin Clark. But you guys just recently recorded. It's probably dropping today, I'm assuming, Tommy? Tonight or last night?
Yeah. We recorded Sunday night.
Okay. Tom and I did a few weeks ago the
I
Fran
won a draft.
McCaffrey era draft. And
But I won.
Despite Tom getting Luka Garza first, I dominated the draft. And I've had people, Tom, I've had people that you respect that I won't say names, let me know, hey, like you did get the better of it. Like
I had one of the people you drafted tell me that I had the better draft.
He was being nice. Aaron White was being nice.
Wasn't.
Anyways, you guys had a
No,
great
he wasn't.
idea.
He was being honest.
You guys did the Lisa Bluter era draft. Kyle, how did it go?
Well, Tom won the coin toss, which we
So
officially
you know what
did. I
happened?
was the one that I flipped the coin. He was right. He called tails. Virginia on the quarter was showing up, so he got Caitlin Clark. But I mean, we only picked 8 players apiece. So I mean, there was no way that draft was going to go where one team was way better than the other. I thought both teams were really good. But I mean, it was fun to kind of just look back at some of the names that haven't been at Iowa for a while, and just kind of look back at. I put a list together for Tom and I to go off of and look at where's this player rank in program history and stuff like that for certain statistics. So I thought it was fun to, like I said, go back through some of those names and just look at some of those numbers and put teams together. I mean, I thought they were pretty balanced, but I mean, obviously Tom he had Caitlin and Sam Logic, which is tough to beat, and I had Megan Gustafson and Kathleen Doyle and a bunch of others. So I mean, I like how my team stacked up as well.
I don't want you to give too much away because I want people to go see it and or listen to it. But if I'm in that draft, I would have traded the next 4 picks in order to get the first pick. Does that make sense? I probably would have traded my next 4 picks in order to have Caitlin. Am I crazy?
We only picked 8 players. You wouldn't have been able to make a starting 5. You would have
No,
had to play with
yeah,
like 4
no,
players.
that's true. That's true. Okay, but yeah, I would have got him back on the back end.
Oh, okay. All right. You would have
You know,
just
I would have
traded him
moved
and
up.
gone.
And I would exchange. But yeah, I think she's one of those people that obviously defines it and all that kind of stuff. Tommy, did you find yourself surprised about some of the? I would have thought. We talked with Kyle before you hopped on here. I talked just before we started on air, and he mentioned. I thought there'd be more from the Final Four area teams. I'm not going to give anything away, but did you find yourself going back a few years instead of like the recent teams?
A little bit. I mean, I had the chance to pick Sam Logic, and I'm going to pick her every time. And I've got a backcourt of Sam Logic and Caitlin Clark. I'm going to do okay. And we did pick. I did get Kate Martin too, and Hannah. So who did you get? You didn't get any from the Final
I had
Four team,
McKenna
did you?
Warnock. I picked her late.
Oh, McKenna
I mean,
Warnock. Yeah, McKenna.
So, I mean, we had a lot of those teams, but I mean, like, it's. I mean, we've talked about it before. Like Lisa, yeah, I know, like she got to the pinnacle of college basketball those 2 years with 2 national title appearances, but it's not like they were bad before that. I mean, they had a lot. I mean, you talk about like Megan Gustafson came before that. You talk about Sam Logic, and like she had good players throughout her time at Iowa. So like, as much as kind of the recency stuff of like, like some of the players that were on those teams, like you look back and you're like there were still a lot of really good players before them that deserved getting drafted. So I mean, I felt bad that I left a couple of players off because like I've gotten to know them obviously, but I still felt, I didn't feel like I was purposely trying to stay away from them. I felt like I picked a lot of really deserving players, but I mean, we still got a lot of those recent teams on there.
Kyle, are you surprised that Tom picked Caitlin Clark despite her average comeback the other day? I think is what was it? She wasn't that good.
This is getting overblown on what I said. So we're on the course yesterday, and I'm keeping track of the game, and she had like 15 points in the first quarter or something, and then had 25 at halftime on like 7 threes, and she finished the game with 32. 8 rebounds and 9 assists. And I think that because Tom was reading up, he's like, oh, the game just went fine, like the Fever won by whatever. And he said Caitlin's score. And I said something like, oh, she only scored 7 in the second half. And Bailey was like, oh, Kyle, it's not like normal to go for 32, 8, and 9. And I go, Bailey, we've watched her do that like 40 times before. It is kind of normal to me. So like, I wasn't saying, no, it's a very uncommon stat line, but like, I'm just so used to it that it's like, oh, she actually only scored 7 in the second half. So no, I didn't like say she was bad or say it was a bad night or something. It's just, that's just what I've come to expect from her in the time that I've gotten to watch her.
No, I agree. But, and we're kind of used to that kind of stuff, but it was great to see her back and doing what she did. And I would have never thought like 5 years ago, people at my dad's golf outing would be talking about a WNBA basketball game. But that's literally like we drove past somebody and they're like, hey, Caitlin just hit 3 threes in like 30 whatever seconds. Tommy, it's crazy to think that like, that's where we're at. And I think I read someplace that viewership in the WNBA was down 50% while she was gone. Not just Fever games, but in general. The Caitlin Clark effect, you guys covered it. You know about it. But it's one of the biggest things in sports right now, isn't it, Tommy?
Can I ask you guys a question?
Maybe.
Because I think I brought this up. I may have brought it up on Saturday, Kyle. Are there more Fever fans in the state of Iowa than in Indiana?
Yes.
Because everywhere I go, there's like all anybody wants to talk to me about is the Indiana Fever. Seriously.
I would say like actual fans, no, but like, I don't know. It depends on what you consider a fan, because I think a lot of people have started watching, but I don't think like, I think they're watching and they want Caitlin to do.
They were
well.
even like
they were even. I think there's a certain.
They were even watching. People, go ahead.
I think there's like a certain subset of Iowa fans that if like they watch the Fever because of Caitlin, but like if Caitlin scored 35 and the Fever lost by 10, I think there's a certain subset of people that just wouldn't care about that. But I do think there are Iowa fans that have like become full-fledged Fever fans. But like if you're an Indiana Fever fan in Indiana, if Caitlin scores 35 and they lose, like you're not happy. But I do think there are certain Iowa fans that if Caitlin put up 35, 40 and they lost by 10, they would be happy that Caitlin did that and not care at all that the Fever lost, which to me is not a fan. That's just being a Caitlin Clark fan, which is fine. But,
Dazzo and I have a friend who he didn't even want to come to the golf outing this year because he just wanted to go watch the Fever play.
Yeah. No, here's what I would say to that. I think, how do I say, 75%, I'm guessing. My thing is, I think the majority of Fever fans now are new, whether they live in Indiana, in Iowa. I don't think there were a lot of Fever fans, period, before Caitlin Clark came along, in Indiana, in whatever state. So, yes, I think that energized that state. Great basketball over there. And there's a lot of Indiana people that are Fever fans. But I think Caitlin Clark, I think they're more rabid in Iowa. I think they've just they've adopted the Fever as Iowa's team. And like you mentioned, Don is like it feels like the 10th or 12th person that I've known since the season started that has driven there for a game. My daughter, I don't have one of those. My nieces.
You don't have a daughter. You got 4 boys.
Yeah. My nieces and my sister and their family are going to a game later this year. And then they show it. It's awesome.
Dazzo's giving away a secret that he's got a secret daughter.
No, not that I know. I'm losing my voice is what I'm doing. But what I'm saying is I think the majority of Iowa fans that are Iowa basketball fans are now just or Indiana Fever fans. They've just graduated onto that. And I think they're more rabid over here.
I would be curious if you did like a survey of Iowa fans that watch the Fever. Like I said, do you like if Caitlin scores 35 and they lose, are you happy about the game or like are you upset that the Fever lost? Because like I mean, I'm a Fever. I like watching the Fever, and like I've watched Caitlin score 35, 40 in a game enough times. Like I want to watch the Fever win the game though. So I'd be curious to see how fans would vote on that. Are you okay with Caitlin scoring 20 and winning? Or would you rather see Caitlin score 40 and they lose? Because I think there would be a set of people that'd be like, I want to watch Caitlin score 40 on the Fever.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously that's the the main draw. But I'm telling you, man, like the way people watch the Fever, and think about it, WQAD carries like 60, 70% of their games. Like, right. And they did it obviously for Caitlin, but that grows it. Like you suddenly, Caitlin's on that team, and then you start liking Kelsey Mitchell, and then you start liking Aaliyah Boston.
Did I say that on this show? I think we talked about that.
Probably.
I said I think that's what's happened is that like because Monica Sanano was the one that said it a couple of years ago. Like people come to watch Caitlin, but then they watch me play, or they watch McKenna Warnock, or they watch Kate Martin, or they watch Gabby Marshall, and then they're fans of all of them. That's why you saw Gabby shirts and you saw McKenna Warnock shirts, and then you saw them come back and they got Lucy shirts instead of Fulter shirts. I think that's what happened with the Fever. Like I think that's something I said on the show before. Is people were like, well, I'm going to become a Fever fan because Caitlin's on the team. But then you watched Aaliyah Boston and you say like, oh, hey, like I watched Aaliyah Boston play Iowa in the Final Four. I know who that is. Or you say, hey, Kelsey Mitchell, like Caitlin passed her because she was second in the Big Ten or was the all-time Big Ten leading scorer. So people like start to remember some of those names. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I do like Kelsey Mitchell. I do like Aaliyah Boston. And now you're a full-fledged fan. I think that it's the exact same thing happening that happened at Iowa. It's just happening with the Fever now.
No, I completely agree. And Kyle, I'll throw it to you. Like, ratings were down 50%. I know it's a hot button topic, but this is the WNBA needs to jump on what Caitlin Clark is and ride the heck out of it. I mean, just go along with the ride and not fight it. And I think they have been more. Don't you feel like there's more an acceptance for her this year than like obviously what a rookie year was?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because she's only played a couple of games this year because she's been injured. But I think like there hasn't been comments made in the off season or anything like that were the year before. Just because I think people saw her play last year and you know she wins Rookie of the Year. I mean, like you can't really argue that much. But I mean, like I said, I think crowd. I mean, the Valkyries are a brand new team out there, and you know Kate's team, and they've sold out like 5 straight home games. So,
they're good.
I think I think the crowds across the league have been up this year. I mean, Minnesota's always had really good crowds. Obviously
But
the
why?
Liberty always
But
dropped
why
pretty
though?
well. I mean, I think a team like Minnesota and New York have always. I mean, New York's always going to get good crowds just because it's New York City. But I mean, it helps that the Liberty have been good. I think Minnesota's always done a pretty good job with crowd. I mean, I think they've always kind of just been like a more of a they've really supported women's basketball. They've also had really good teams and really good players come through there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say that Kate Martin is the reason. Like, she's a former Iowa player and someone that a lot of people like, but that's not why the Valkyries are selling out home games.
See,
So I just think people. I don't know what is it. Caitlin, it could be. I think you could be some other things, like maybe you tune into a Caitlin game and you watch Sabrina Ionescu, and then you
Bingo.
watch her, and then the Sabrina's team. But I don't know. Maybe it was in another way if someone tunes in to watch Sabrina play, and then I don't think it's all Caitlin, but I think maybe once people start to tune in and watch a game here or there, you just start to get to know the other players. That's really what it is. You tune in to watch those top few players, and then you start to get to know everybody.
Yeah, like I think that's why people get offended the other way when you say Caitlin Clark is the reason why people are watching. No, nobody's watching the Liberty versus the Lynx for Caitlin Clark, but they watched the Liberty play because they were playing Caitlin last week, and they saw talented players, and now they're watching it again.
You saw Sabrina go for 30, and you're like, well, that was pretty crazy. And then it's like, well, no. And then you're like, Breanna Stewart had a good game too. And then you watch the Liberty Lynx, and then you're like, well, the Lynx are maybe the best team in the league. And then, I mean, is that all coming from maybe watching a Fever game? I don't think it all is. But I think you're right that where maybe you did tune into the Fever game to watch Caitlin or watch that team. And then, like you said, Sabrina goes for 30, and then it's like, well, I should watch her too. And then it kind of goes from there.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Hey, Dazzo, I've heard you might wager on things from time to time. Can I throw some things at you?
Yeah. Please, WNBA. I love gambling on the WNBA.
How about WNBA regular season MVP? Caitlin Clark right now plus 270.
Well, here's what's going to happen.
Collier's the
and what is she? She's like
favorite,
minus 400 probably.
Minus 370.
Look at that. I know my stuff. Here's what's going to happen. They're going to continue to win a lot of games. Heck, they just beat the Liberty. It wasn't like, Caitlin came back and they won. They gave the Liberty their first loss. They're going to start stacking wins, and they're going to start getting, and then everybody's you can compare and contrast. You can say, this is what they were when Caitlin was out for 2 weeks, which was a below 500 basketball team, I believe. And this is what they are now. And I think that's going to help her in the long run. Yeah, Collier's really good. And
have you seen, I was just pulling up, Nafisha Collier's averaging 26 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and shooting 45% from 3.
Yeah. Here's the other one. You can also look at with Vegas, Wilson. And you can, and she's not playing right now. Vegas sucks. Like, they're not good.
I think they lost again, or they might have lost today.
Yeah.
How about this? How about this one, guys? You can get the Fever plus 490 to win the WNBA championship.
Is it 490?
I think that's going to be.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised it went down so much, just because like Caitlin was out and Sophie Cunningham was out. Like, that shouldn't have. Because I've listened to some WNBA talk on like ESPN and stuff, and they didn't think the Fever were going to beat the Liberty. And I was like, just because their record isn't great, it's because they've had players out. Like, I feel like people kind of got off of them a bit, and it's like they didn't play great without those players, but like they also didn't have 2 of their key players. So I don't. And that, if you really believe in the Fever, now would be the time to jump on them, because the odds have shifted a decent amount since those 2 were hurt.
I got them plus 450 to start the year. And every time I get a free bet, like a $5, $10 free bet, I toss it on the Fever. So, and it's just
you really better hope you win that.
Well, it's just a free bet. You might as well.
Right,
it's $5 here or there. And I was a little concerned when the season started, because the new additions haven't really done much. Bonner's not been good. Cunningham hasn't been healthy. Howard hasn't been great. So I got a little worried then, but I still think like that's the best. Do I think they win the whole thing? Probably not. But
The Lynx
boy,
and Liberty are really good.
I don't want to bet again. You know what though? Like, yes, you're right, but Vegas was really good last year and they didn't win it.
Right.
So I just think Caitlin Clark's that person. And if this story is going to continue to evolve and continue to be one of the best stories in sports, that's the next step. You know what I mean? That's the next step is them winning it. So, all right, I'm almost out of my voice. So, Tommy, I don't know, maybe both you guys, it was a big recruiting weekend. I know why you guys were, golfing and relaxing and all that kind of stuff. Blair was working his ass off. Oh
my God.
What did we?
He's the best in the business.
And go check it out, HawkeyeReport.com. Literally, there's something there. He's got everything. But what were the main headlines out of a busy recruiting weekend for the Iowa football program?
I think just the overall, I think it was a good weekend. It was more focused on the underclassmen, the 2027 group, instead of the 2026. This coming weekend will be the big 2026 visit weekend. So got that all going on and coming together with that, with all the commits that'll be on campus. And then there's I think 9 guys right now that are scheduled to visit or uncommitted. And that's kind of the way they've loaded things up. One of the, I think, fun things, they offered a preferred walk-on to Isaiah Oliver, Dean Oliver's son, and to play football. So it's not a basketball thing, it's a football thing. So be good for him. I think he's probably going to make his way to the defensive side of the ball rather than offense, and probably play defensive back, probably maybe even cash. Just based on his frame, I think that might fit pretty well for him. So he's a good athlete, fast kid, with good frame. So be curious what happens with Isaiah Oliver. Other than that, it seemed like a very good vibe from the 2027 group that visited this past weekend.
Before I let you guys go, Kyle, I did hear, by the way, check out Tom and I did a podcast for the Hawkeye Report with Zach Johnson last week. So if you haven't listened to that, go listen to that. But we talked, Tom brought it up. When is the podcast about the top 27 games in the Kirk
I don't know when we're going to do it. We were just talking about that.
When is is it voted on? Is the voting done?
Yeah, the voting's done.
Okay, first and foremost, I'm kind of ticked off by that I didn't get to vote. I mean, I get it.
Oh, do you want to vote?
Not now.
You
it's
want
already
to vote?
done. It's already done.
No, it's not. Well, it's
tabulated
technically not
yet.
done. The articles aren't written.
Well, I mean,
No,
here's what I'll say.
I haven't written anything or tabulated anything.
I love promoting you guys, what you do. I want you on. I love my show is your show. But if you don't want to do that, I mean, I get it. That's fine. I just thought you were teaching Kyle, like you're the old veteran, how to be a giving media member. I guess obviously you're not doing that, but we talked about it and I don't want to get into it too much. It's a whole different show. But I don't know if Kyle listened to the pod. He might have. Is the Brett Greenwood game going to make the top 10?
Which one is that?
So probably not. I think
I don't.
That's the Marshall Kane. The Marshall Kane field goal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought it was that right around that time.
Is it going to make the top? Is it going to make the top 27? Forget 10. Is it going to make the list?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's in the top 27. Yeah.
It'll be top 20?
It'll be top 15. I hope.
I
don't remember where I voted. I think I voted at like 11th or something.
There you go. I thought 10.
Yeah, I think that's right where I was.
So
you had it top 5.
Yeah.
Dazzo had it top 5.
Yeah, I guess. I kind of forgot about that before the game. I forgot about that, but I don't know. There's just there's a lot of like really high level games though, like depending on how you want to weigh what importance there is to it.
Yeah, there were some good games that got left off.
I can't wait.
Completely left
Here's why that day I had at 5 or my top 5, and it might continue to waver downward, is because I don't have a complete list. You know, we're just going on like we're doing the podcast, and he's like, "Hey guys, I want to ask you this." Well, that's hard to come up with right off the top of your head. So, anyways, go check out the Zach Johnson podcast on the Hawkeye Report. You guys have the Lisa Bluter draft podcast. Go check that out as well. Gentlemen, thanks for one, doing this, but then golfing this weekend. We appreciate it. I'm sure I'll be bugging you again here in the near future. So I'm going to go count. I think Kyle is right near the top of the most appearances on the show ever.
He should be.
Yeah.
Should be.
Kyle, I tell you every time, whether he's here or not, he's the face of the Hawkeye Report now. Kyle,
He should be.
I mean, I am actually very interested to see where I land on the leaderboard, because I felt like I was on there a lot during the end of women's basketball season. I was on there like every other day.
And it wasn't just basketball; it was basketball and then baseball.
We talked about
really
baseball
good.
a lot too.
I mean, like, because you work harder, Kyle. Like Tom just does the big stuff,
Yes.
and like, you know, you're out traveling, killing it, doing all that kind of
Work
stuff.
smarter, not harder.
Yeah, right.
Work smarter,
Well, when
not
did you start? When was like your first show?
So
When
I
did
don't,
you do the
I don't
first
know if you guys noticed this. A few people did notice. Gosh, it was
It was January 6th.
yeah.
January
So
I was gonna say, you missed the whole football season. Tom didn't have any chance to get on during football season.
on June 6th, that week leading up to June 6th, I was promoting my 6-month show. And the morning of June 6th, I did the math, and it's actually only 5 months. So I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So July 6th will be 6 months. And I bet, Kyle, what would you guess? 25 times? Is that too much?
Oh, I don't know that it's that high.
Really?
Oh, I don't know that it's
There
that,
were
I don't know that it's 25.
there were several twice a weeks, weren't there?
I don't know. Was there?
Maybe not.
I don't know.
All right, I'm going to count it. Next time you're on, I'm going to count it. I'm going to find out. Tom, I have to pay Tom. You don't have to, I don't have to pay you. You don't make me pay you. Tom gets $100 every time he comes on.
Well, I need.
wish.
Well,
That's
that's
not
really
That's
the
not
case.
true.
Then
That's not
then
true.
it should be.
That's not true at all. So, all right, boys, enjoy your Monday. We'll talk to you soon.
I don't even get a hungry hobo sandwich.
Hey, you got Snoop's chips and salsa, and
I did.
and how good was that food?
It's always
Oh,
great.
Snoop.
Always fantastic.
Snoop is the best, man.
Man, so good. So, all right, boys, I'll let the people cared about 35% of what we talked about, but that's okay. It was a ton of
Yeah,
fun.
that's all right.
Guys, have a good Monday. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, that is Kyle Huesman and Tom Kakert from the Hawkeye Report recapping our fun weekend at the Guy Randazzo, and then a lot of Caitlin Clark talk and a little bit more as well. We got more to get to. You're watching Off the Air on a Monday right here in the Quad Cities. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high, each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfathers is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with.
Saturday night, June 14th, the Steamwheelers face off against the Parade in an IFL battle that's going to rock the vibrant arena. And it's Digital Bobblehead Night, presented by XUSD Blockchain. All fans in attendance with an active MetaMask digital wallet will score a limited edition Steamwheelers NFT bobblehead, a one-of-a-kind collectible you can't get anywhere else. High-flying IFL action and digital collectibles? Now that's next-level game night. Grab your tickets now at steamwheelersfootball.com/tickets.
The PGA Tour swings into the Quad Cities again this summer, and you don't want to miss it. The John Deere Classic brings golf, music, magic, and more to TPC Deer Run, July 2nd through the 6th. Wednesday, July 2nd is Youth Day, and ages 15 and under are free all week, making it perfect for the whole family. Stick around after the Golf on the Weekend for the concerts on the Course Series, featuring country superstar Dierks Bentley on Saturday, and Grammy Award-winning Zach Brown Band on Sunday. Come for the golf, stay for the party. Visit JohnDeereClassic.com to get your tickets before they sell out.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. A beautiful Monday it is, hoping to survive my voice throughout the entire show. It was a fun weekend for me, so I have a feeling I used my voice a little too much. Great event for myself this weekend, but that's the beauty part of the Quad Cities. There's so many great events throughout the summer, raising money for great causes, and we love to share as much spotlight and love on those as possible. And I want to do that this morning. Brad Monier is joining us. Brad, thank you first and foremost for first reaching out and then also for joining me this morning. I know you got a great event coming up, so first and foremost, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, no, appreciate you having me on. Congratulations on your recent event, and we have ours coming up we're looking forward to, and appreciate you helping bring awareness and attention to our event.
Yeah, absolutely. So the event's coming up July 5th. It's called the Walnut 5K Run Walk for ALS. We're going to talk more about the event and details and all that kind of stuff in a second, but kind of talk about your involvement in it. And ALS, obviously, and people who are baseball fans, Lou Gehrig Day was recently June 2nd, and I think the Cubs celebrated Lou Gehrig Day this over the weekend. So obviously everyone knows of and about ALS. Talk about how you've become, involved in this cause and why it means so much to you.
Well, it's definitely near and dear to me and my family. Unfortunately, with ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, those are kind of used interchangeably. 90% of ALS cases are considered sporadic, which is exactly that, sporadic. But then there's 10% of ALS cases that it's called familial ALS. And that's what my family has. So on my mom's side, we've lost over 22 members to ALS. For me personally, I've lost mom, grandpa, and 2 uncles. And there's unfortunately several more in our family that are currently battling it as well. Luckily living in a small town support. Years ago, 14 years ago, there was a lady, Julie Von Holton. They had always done a 5K in Walnut, and Walnut celebration on the 4th of July weekend is a party from basically Thursday through Sunday with a ton of events going on. So she made it with all proceeds going to ALS research. And then about 4 years ago, she was going to step down, and she reached out to me and my siblings and asked, hey, would you like to take this on? Because if we didn't, or she gave it up, someone else could come in and choose a different cause that to go to. So my 3 siblings and I stepped up and have been learning and trying to grow this thing the last 4 years, and looking forward to year number 5 here.
No, it's going to be a fantastic event. We'll talk about it in a second. Tell me a little bit about, obviously, the Familia ALS. You mentioned 22 family members kind of dealing with it. You lost your mom to it, grandpa, all that kind of stuff. How do you grow up learning about, finding out about what is in your family? And obviously, it's something, I hate to say the word embraced, but something you've embraced and battled and are fighting with and raising money for today or in the future, obviously.
Yeah, well, lost grandpa before I can even remember, before I was a kid even actually. But then I remember being like late elementary, early middle school, when my uncle started suffering from the symptoms and then ended up passing. within about 2 years. So that was my first experience with it. And then fast forward, and then my mom was eventually diagnosed with it. So had to see it firsthand. And for those that don't know, so ALS is basically the neurons between your brain and your muscles start deteriorating and not working. So when your brain's trying to tell your muscles to do something and those neurons aren't communicating, well, you're not able to use your muscles, and then they deteriorate. So what it looks like is, and it's different for everybody, and the speed that it affects you is different for everybody. But a lot of times people often begin noticing weakness, maybe legs or arms. Then after that, like having to use walkers or wheelchairs, eventually to get your nutrition, need feeding tubes. Your breathing muscles, you're not able to breathe well, so you see a lot of people with breathing machines. So yeah, it's just a nasty disease because your brain's all there and it's trying to tell your muscles to do things, but they're not. So actually, my mom got diagnosed when I was a sophomore at Augustana, and then she was able to battle for about 6 years before she passed. So that's what I've seen.
And you can be tested for it. You've been tested, and good news for you is that you don't have that familiar ALS.
Yeah, so that's one of the good things, and we're trying to bring more attention to this is research. So everyone says that there's not a cure for ALS. There's one out there, but ALS is just an underfunded disease. Lou Gehrig was diagnosed in 1939, was when he was diagnosed, and there's still no cure for it. But there's a lot of optimism, there's a lot of hope, there's a lot of momentum in the research. And part of that research is for the familial ALS people, you are able to be genetically tested. So my mom had ALS, so then each of her kids, there's a 50-50 chance of carrying that gene. I've been genetically tested, and I am not carrying that gene. But dreadfully, my younger sister has been tested, and she is carrying that gene. And now there's not enough research to know if it will be triggered or not. But obviously, it's not a good thing. And then I have 2 other siblings that have chosen not to be tested at this time.
Sure. Well, let's talk about getting that funding and all of those kind of things as well, because it's crazy. Brad, 1939 was a long damn time ago. And obviously, every cause is important, every battle, every disease, all of those kind of things. But there are ways, and that's the exciting thing is, medicine is an amazing thing. So talk about the event and raising money, because all the money goes to help research for ALS. And I think that's something you mentioned, that there is good news coming and there's developments happening, and that's exciting for you and your family, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% of our proceeds go to ALS research. My sister's being a part of clinical studies down in Miami right now. So that's very encouraging and promising, and they're seeing good results. I have some other family members that have already been in the studies for a while, and actually have a cousin that was declining and having some pretty severe symptoms. And she's been on some clinical drugs, and things have kind of leveled off and arguably even improved a little bit. So yeah, each year the cause is near and dear to us, and there's unfortunately other family members or other families in Walnut that are also suffering. So we're really fortunate to be part of a community that a lot of people show up, a lot of people donate every year on a yearly basis, and we can't thank everyone enough for all the support to a cause that's near and dear to more than our family, but a lot of people.
Absolutely. You mentioned Walnut. What is it? 1,500 people? There can't be a lot of people in Walnut, but it's a great run, a great event. Kind of talk about that. You mentioned the Walnut community and how they've embraced it, but the entire Quad Cities has as well. And I think that's the main thing we want to tell people about is that, yeah, it's that community, but if you're from Bettendorf or Rock Island or Genesee or anywhere in between, it's a great event to come and help out at.
Yeah, absolutely. We broke a record last year with over 700 participants for the small town of Walnut, 1,500, but people come from near and far. 728 entries last year. We looked it up. We had representation from 17 different states, 115 cities. I teach and coach in Geneseo now. And Walnut, for those that don't know, it feeds into the Bureau Valley School District. Had over 80 Geneseo people, tons of Quad Cities and other local small towns. So yeah, from near and far, people are coming to support the cause.
Okay, let's tell us about it. Talk a little more about it. It's a run walk 5K in Walnut, July 5th. If you want to get signed up, you can get a shirt and all those kind of fun things as well. Do that by June 26th, is I think what you said. But we'll take sign-ups all the way until whenever, just to guarantee yourself. And you could still get one, but to guarantee yourself a shirt and all that kind of stuff. June 26th. Talk about the day in the event, because as you mentioned, you took it over. You helped take it over. What's it like for yourself, your family, and to see the outpouring of support from people? And I just got done doing a memorial golf outing and a fundraiser of my own. And it's, yes, the money is important, and that's the reason and the drive. But I'm sure the support and the day itself is gratifying as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes a lot, and luckily that we have 4 siblings that kind of divide and conquer, and there's several others that help us behind the scenes. There's a lot of prep that goes into it, and then when you have over 700 or maybe 800 this year, whatever that number gets to, there's just a lot that goes on and into it. But no, it's a lot of fun. It's a great atmosphere in Walnut. Like I said, there's events going on throughout the day. I think about the time that our events going on, there's a car show going on. There's a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. There's slow pitch softball tournaments. So for those that sign up, as we lead up to the event, we send out an email and include everything that's going on, because you could be interested in more than just the walk run. And a lot of people are sometimes, I don't want to run the 5K, but we encourage walkers. We have a stroller division. And obviously ALS is a sad thing, but we try to put a positive spin on it and treat it more like an uplifting, encouraging thing. We have music. We have a great Racing Expectations is the one that helps us run the event, and he does a great job. We have music. We have drones up in the air capturing footage throughout the race. People in Walnut line the streets, the Curion, the water stations. I think we're going to have a dance music party set up along the routes. So yeah, it's a fun time, and we always get feedback from runners, and hey, what can we do to improve? What can we do to make this better? Yeah. And a lot of time the feedback, it's an awesome event, and I think our numbers grow each year because once someone comes, they want to come back.
No, that's the beauty part about it as well. We had Joe Moreno on the show last week, who knows a lot about the running world, and that's one thing we kind of talked about. Like, people sometimes look at races and they're like, it sounds like a great cause, but I don't run, or I'm not a runner. Go walk, go be part of it. I've had, my family's done 5Ks in which the reason we do them, besides the charity aspect of it, is to simply go to breakfast afterwards, give ourselves an excuse to get a workout in, but go walk, go volunteer as well. There's something for everyone at these events, isn't there, Brad?
Yeah, absolutely. And there is a sausage and pancake breakfast after, Matt. So if you want to make the trip, you can go get breakfast after. Our event is in front of the school, and it's also our park district going on. So we have showers available. So if people are wanting to get cleaned up, showered up afterward, and then enjoy the rest of the day, because there's a lot of stuff going on. That's an opportunity for you. And yeah, it's just a great time.
No, I love it. I love it. How can people, and I'm going to put everything on my social media and get out there as well, but there's a sign up online. And if you're old school, and I know all about this because I just did an event of my own, people are old school. They like to fill out flyers and send stuff in. How can people get involved if they're watching this and they want to go take part in the event, which sounds like a fantastic event on the 4th of July weekend?
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing that link for us. So that's an online one. We can also have a paper PDF copy that people can download, and we have it up throughout businesses in the area that you can take a picture and scan it. Walk, run, donate, or just we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like it, retweet it, whatever. Just spread the word. Even if you can't make it, even if you choose not to donate, by talking about it and spreading the word, maybe we catch someone that is interested. So anything like that. We are a 501c3 organization, so if anyone individually or as a business out there want to make a donation, that can be a tax exempt for you. So plenty of opportunities to help what we believe is a great cause.
Well, Brad, I think you've got me almost convinced. I'm pretty sure it's John Deere Classic weekend, but it's an early morning race, right?
Yep, it starts at 8 o'clock. So if you're able to sign up before, it's Friday, June 27th is the t-shirt deadline. Okay. But you can sign up after that. But sometimes maybe people want to scout the weather or wait till the day of or the morning, day before to find out. We'll take early registrations that morning from 6:45 to 7:45. Come on out. The race starts at 8, so depending on how fast you want to run it or walk it, We're going to have a live afterward. We have a Steve Mongo McMichael autographed jersey. We have a Ryan Sandberg jersey. We have a couple other things we're going to auction off as well.
Oh, I love it. And you know what? Sometimes running in the rain is better, especially in July. So, well, Brad, we appreciate it. We appreciate you doing it. We're going to get the word out. You mentioned 700 or whatever, and you're hoping to get to 800. Let's get to 1,000 this year. Why not? Let's build this thing up as big as we can. So, sounds like you're putting together a great event. We'll get it out to everybody. And I appreciate you taking the time to do this. And I appreciate you taking the time to do what you're doing, and your family as well. We wish you guys the best, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Yeah, thanks so much, Matt.
All right, that is Brad Monier heading up the Walnut 5K run walk for ALS. Go take part in it. It sounds like a fantastic event, and hopefully we'll get more information to you guys about that, and keep reminding you throughout the weeks right here on OTA. We got more to get to right here on Off the Air on a Monday, if my voice survives the entire show. Dave Heller, owner of the Quad Cities River Bandits, right around the corner right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad Cities' best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves.
Hey guys, this is former Hawkeye Jake Gervais inviting you to the 5th annual Rally for Reed football camp.
Go, run, run, run.
This year's 5th annual Rally for Reed football camp will take place on Friday, June 27th at Jack and Pat Bush Stadium at Davenport Assumption High School. Come learn the game of football from several familiar faces.
1, 2, 3, go, Taco!
All while honoring the life and legacy of Reed Gleason and also raising money for the Rally for Reed Foundation and the continued fight against pediatric cancer. There will also be a spirit camp the same day hosted at St. Ambrose University. To sign up or get involved, check out rallyforeed.org and make a donation or sign up for the camp. Thanks.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. A beautiful Monday it is. Make sure you guys get signed up for the Rally for Reed camp coming up June 27th. Fantastic cause. All the money raised goes to help kids battling cancer here in the Quad Cities and up in Iowa City as well. So make sure you go to rallyforreed.org and check that out as well. Well, it's been a fun show so far. A lot to get to, a lot to get caught up on after a long Father's Day weekend. And I'm hoping and I'm assuming my next guest also had a good Father's Day weekend. The owner of the Quad Cities River Bandits, Dave Heller. Dave, happy Father's Day a day late. Hopefully you had a great weekend as well.
I had an awesome weekend. We swept Peoria over the weekend, and we are in first place by ourselves with 3 games left in the first half of the season. So if we could just win Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have punched our ticket for the playoffs.
Oh, we got so much to talk about, so much good baseball to talk about as well. It's funny, Dave, because we tried to hook up last week, and you guys were in the midst of I want to say a 6-game losing streak. And since we didn't get hooked back up, it was a good luck charm. Y'all have just won games since then. So I'm taking full credit. We're rocking a 12-game homestand. We're going to talk about the standings in a second as well, but being at home for 12 days this time of year has to just have you smiling from ear to ear, because it's that perfect time of year. Weather's great. We're in the middle of June. Great baseball going on. What are these 12-game homestands like for you guys?
They're very challenging. They work our staff really hard. And for our season ticket holders and half-season ticket holders, boy, that's a lot of baseball, 12 games in 13 days. It's just hard on everybody.
Yeah. It helps when there's a lot of winning, and that's what's going on. How excited are you guys right now? Because you mentioned everything's right in front. I mean, there was a little lull and everything, but this team's been playing really good baseball this season. They have a chance to, at home, which is always fun, do some special things this week. Kind of talk about how fun a week this can be down at the ballpark.
Well, listen, I strongly believe that a championship community deserves a championship team, and we are, as I said, 3 games away from punching our ticket to go to the playoffs again. We were in the playoffs the past couple of years, and boy, we just had some bad breaks. I mean, we lost a beautifully pitched game 1-0, and when you're in a 2 out of 3 series, that's those to pitch that well, give up only 2 hits, and one of them's a home run, and you lose. That's really hard. So we've been knocking at the door. Hopefully, this is the year we break the door down.
Absolutely, absolutely. Dave Howard joining me right now and Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Dave, talk about the fan experience this week. I know that day off today, so hopefully everybody's just catching their breath. And then you rock and roll again tomorrow through the rest of the week, a 5-game winning streak. And I know it's not just one thing tomorrow night. It's like pennant night, $2 ticket night, $2 dogs, $2 pot. It's a bunch of great stuff tomorrow that just kicks off a great week at the ballpark, doesn't it?
It does, Matt. You're exactly right. So tomorrow, you got it right. It's $2 tickets on Tuesday, and we do that every Tuesday. $2 tickets, $2 hot dogs, and $2 pops. On Wednesday, this Wednesday, it's Builders and Remodelers Night, and that means we're going to do fireworks on Wednesday, as well as free Ferris wheel and carousel rides, and we're going to be doing $1 Keystone Lights.
Oh, geez.
So a lot going on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thursday, we have $2 beers, and we have a pint glass giveaway. And then Friday, as always, it's fireworks, and also we have a cowboy hat giveaway on Friday.
No kidding.
Which
is that
is
the
cool.
first
We've never
cowboy?
done that.
I was going to
Yeah.
say that's got to be a first, isn't it?
Yeah, man, we did a Hawaiian shirt giveaway last Saturday over the weekend, and people loved it. I mean, those things. I think we've had 1,000 people in the ballpark faster than just about any other time. We had people lined up, and they went out fast, and people loved them. They were wearing the Hawaiian shirts. They were great.
All right, so tell me, are you gonna?
So we're always trying to do new things, and the cowboy hat's another one. So Friday night, fireworks and a cowboy hat giveaway, and then Saturday is an oven glove, an oven mitt giveaway by Butch's Pizza.
Okay, nice.
And those, oven mitts, like, man, I know for me when I've got to pull something out of the oven, my wife is cooking and she asked me to do that. I'm always looking around, trying to find a towel or something to have an oven mitt right there. That would be really helpful. So
Dave,
I think people are going to like those and want to keep them around.
It's funny because you're right. It's like you think you have a ton of them and you don't have enough of them. Ours have probably a kid, not me, maybe me, may have caught on fire. So like we're down, and then you grab a towel to do it and you burn yourself. So no, hey, on Friday night, can we expect you to be like at the top of the stairs and like full cowboy get up or anything? Is that a thing?
If you have a cowboy getup and you want to stand with me at the top of the stairs, I'd love to have you.
That's the best answer you could have possibly given, Dave. Those things are exciting, and kind of talk about that, because you guys are always thinking about something different, something new. It's about evolving in everything, but you guys do such a great job evolving and changing and doing different things each and every year, don't you?
Well, I tell my staff, like, we can never fail, right? You can never fail. All you can do is try, and if we do something great, then that's awesome. Hawaiian shirt giveaway, and we'll do it again next year. If we try something and people aren't really into it, then we just won't do it again.
Yeah.
But you can never fail.
No, I love it.
Right?
It's kind of,
as long as we keep trying, as long as we keep trying to push the envelope.
Dave, it's like this show. I tell my wife and people all the time, I'm just going to try to do different things. And if I do something and people like it, I'm going to do it again. If I don't, all right, we won't do that again. We'll just move on and do something different. So that's the beauty part of all that kind of stuff. I got to give you some credit, because you sat at my house the start of the season and we were talking about last year's group and Jack Caglione, and you said, right on set, you said he's going to be in the bigs before the 4th of July. He's been in the bigs since the 1st of June, I believe, something around that time. So first off, kudos.
Yeah, his first game was June 3rd.
June 3rd.
And I was there.
Oh, okay.
And
So first, talk about going there. Was that just happened to be something you were doing, or was that something you wanted to make sure you got to?
No, I wanted to do it. Right? I wanted to do it. It was a fun thing to do. And you know, he's going to be a big star. And I love the idea that we can have big stars who played in Quad Cities, right? Carlos Correa played here. If his career continues on its current trajectory, you know, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Alex Bregman played here. If his career continues on the same trajectory, he'll be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And I hope that Vinny Pasquantino and Jack Caglione are two more people that we would be able to say that about in 5 years.
No, absolutely. Dave, what is it about that young man? Because I got to interview him a few times, and he was great. I stopped by. You guys graciously donated to my dad's golf outing, which was awesome as always. And I greatly appreciate it. And talking to some of the staff and members down there, we brought up Jack, and they have nothing but nice things to say about that guy. It's always great to see a guy.
Great young man.
Yeah, it's always great to see somebody that's good at baseball. That's always fun. But can you tell us about the other side of it? Because I think that's what you love, is the fact that he's a good dude and a really good baseball player, if that makes any sense.
It does. And you know, that's really like hats off to the Royals, because I think you've seen with Bobby Witt, who would have been here, but for the pandemic, we didn't play in 2020. Bobby Witt, Vinny Pasquantino, Jack Caglione, like you're seeing, and oh my gosh, the pitcher Noah Cameron, who's been lights out this year, played for us in 23.
Yeah.
You're seeing not only young guys who are going on and doing big things in the majors, but you're seeing really high caliber people, quality people of great character, and that's really about the Royals and the way they draft and what they look for in their players.
Dave, is it important? And I don't know about how it comes about, but to have an organization like the Royals, for us here in the Quad Cities, they want to draft, develop, and then get them to the bigs. That's not every organization. That benefits us a ton, knowing that we're an integral part of what they want to do on the big stage. That's got to be appealing to you. I know it's appealing to baseball fans in the Quad Cities, right?
For sure. So look, you could have a Yankees or a Dodgers type affiliate, and they will also draft great players. But those players end up getting traded very quickly for major leaguers that they need at the trade deadline, right? So trading deadline's coming up, and the Yankees and the Dodgers and clubs like that, big market clubs that are doing well, probably, you just saw yesterday with the San Francisco Giants, another one, where they traded 4 prospects for Rafael Devers.
Yeah.
So those prospects often come from Quad Cities, or they come from Columbia, where they would be going to Quad Cities if they stayed with us, right? But they get traded. I love that the Royals don't do that. I love that the Royals try to grow their talent instead of packaging a whole bunch of players to get somebody that they think is going to put them over and get them to the playoffs. They're not going to mortgage the future. And
I love it.
We are the future for them, and I love that.
Yeah, no, I got boys. My sons, they go to a game, went to a game last year and saw Caglione play, a couple of them. And now right away they're like, "Hey, Daddy, you got called up," and that's cool for kids. I mean, it's cool for us, Dave. Let's be honest, it's cool for us, but it's cool for kids and baseball fans here in the Quad Cities to grow up seeing guys that they're going to see a few years in the big leagues. So very cool. Dave Heller joining us right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. I'm going to keep you a little bit longer because I know you're busy.
No, but listen, before you hold on, before you jump to another subject,
yeah,
like I want to give you a real world example of this.
Absolutely.
We had a kid who played with us at the end of last season named Blake Mitchell. He was there. He's a catcher. He's the Royals' #1 draft pick. He's hurt right now, but he is recovering, and he's about to start taking BP. He's going to be back with us in July. And JJ Piccolo, the head of baseball operations for the Royals, he runs everything on their baseball side. He's told me point blank, teams want Blake Mitchell in exchange for major league guys, current major leaguers.
Yeah,
you want to get a major league star. You want like a Crochet, or you want a Luis Robert from the White Sox. They want Blake Mitchell, and JJ said, we don't want to give up Blake Mitchell.
Wow.
And I love that. I love the idea that Blake Mitchell's going to come here next month, that kids from across the Quad Cities on both sides of the river can come to the ballpark, can meet Blake Mitchell, get his autograph, get their picture taken, get a signed ball or a signed bat, and know that in a couple years, that guy's going to be replacing Salvador Perez behind home plate for the Kansas City Royals and probably play there for the next decade.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
No, it is. It's crazy how good of a fit Kansas City and the Quad Cities are, Dave. I mean, it really, and I've been to Kansas City several times, and just the feel of that city and that organization, it vibes well with the Quad Cities. I know that sounds cliche, but I feel like it's such a good fit between what we are in the Quad Cities and what that community is and that organization is in Kansas City.
You're exactly right. You're 100% right. And that starts all the way at the top. So I mentioned JJ Piccolo. He's coming here. He'll be in Quad Cities next weekend.
Oh, wow.
And, there are not many major league teams that will send their top baseball guy to go to their high A team and watch the players.
Yeah.
Right? It just doesn't happen very much. When we were at the Astros, the only time we got to see Jeff Lunau was when it came time to sign a player development contract. That was it.
Yeah.
And when we were with the Cardinals, we didn't see John Mozeliak very much. But the Royals are a little different that way, and I love that. And I mean, just top to bottom, their staff is just such a delight to deal with. They really are great. I mean, you can see, Matt, here. You can see I've got my KC on right now, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
See that.
Absolutely. It's looking good.
But right
it's
here,
looking.
KC.
Dave, before one weird question for you. Not weird, but fun question.
Yeah.
You guys have so many promotions. What's your favorite?
Yes.
Do you have one this year?
Oh, the Mega Candy Drop by far.
Okay. All right.
Right.
And
so that's something that I started.
Yeah.
Right. Where we would fill a helicopter with 1,000 pounds of candy, drop it all over the field, and then let the kids run out and pick up the candy. And as the kids are picking up the candy, the helicopter circles back and dumps 1,000 pounds of giant marshmallows all over the children. Right? That's my favorite, and that's something that's been copied by at least 30 other minor league teams.
What made you come up with that? Like, what, at what point did you say, how about I take a helicopter? And that's one of those things that if you throw it at a wall and it sticks, well, that one's stuck, young man. But what made you come up with that concept?
So, honestly, Matt, I used to tell people, I try to think of what would entertain my children, because when I came up with that, they were really young kids. And, now they're older teenagers. But the honest truth is, I think about what would I have liked when I was a kid? Because I really am still a kid.
I was going to say, you're still just a big kid at heart, aren't you?
I am totally a big kid. People say to me, like, hey, Dave, where'd you grow up? And I'll be like, yeah, I don't accept the premise of the question.
Because you've yet to grow up. Anybody wondering?
Because I've yet to grow up.
I love that. I love that. So, well, Dave, I appreciate it.
Don't let this gray hair fool you, man.
Never grow up. Stay the way you are. We appreciate it. We'll catch up. Maybe if we clinch sometime this week, I'm going to bug you. We're going to get a player on here Thursday or Friday when you guys clinch and all that kind of stuff. So I appreciate your time as always. Thank you again for donating and helping out with my dad's golf outing this past weekend. It was a success, and you and the rest of the Quad Cities, and you know that more than anybody. It's not anything that's successful is in the Quad Cities. It's because of the community. And that's what you're lucky with. That's what I get lucky with as well. So thank you, my friend. Enjoy your Monday. Take a breath, relax a little bit today, and then get back to work, okay?
Listen, the best part is we get to do all this in the Quad Cities, because that's where the best people in America are.
I love it.
The nicest people in the country right here in the Quad Cities. And look, honestly, my wife and I, we could live anywhere. I mean, we're doing all right. We could live anywhere. We choose to live here because we love the people so much.
I love it. Well, the people love you too, Dave. Be good, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
I look forward to it. Thanks,
All
Matt.
right. That is Dave Heller, the owner of the Quad Cities River Bandits. So much going on with them. Middle of a 12-game homestand, off today, and then bunches of stuff coming out throughout the week. And Dave mentioned maybe Wednesday we gotta clinch, and we're going to be in the playoffs and all that kind of stuff. So that's the cool part about the Midwest League is you can there's 2 halves, so we can celebrate a little bit in June as well. So we'll get caught up with them later this week as well. Get down to the ballpark. Should be a great week. Weather-wise, a little rainy early, but don't worry about that kind of stuff. And get out and check out the Bandits as well. Well, we got one more quick break to get to. We'll wrap up today's show and talk a little about the rest of the week and what we got kind of coming up. Right after this, you're watching Off the Air with Matt Randazzo on a Monday right here in the Quad Cities. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline, Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. Grinding through a Monday after a little longer weekend than expected, and the voice has been funny throughout, but I think I'm going to make it. I think we're going to last and all that good stuff as well. Had a fun show. Always great to have Tommy and Kyle Huesman just talking, Iowa athletics, Caitlin Clark, all that kind of stuff. Two really good people. Thank both of them for coming out to the golf outing this past weekend as well. Also want to thank Dave Heller for jumping on with us and chatting with us, and also Brad Monier out in Geneseo, but he's heading up the gosh, it was all right in front of me and I moved all my stuff. The Walnut 5K walk run for ALS coming up on July 5th, Saturday, July 5th. We can put that all over my social media. So go check it out, get signed up, take part, enjoy, help out a great cause as well. So coming up tomorrow, two of the football coaches, two of my favorite football coaches. I hope they don't listen to this, but two of my favorite high school football coaches, Nick Welch and John Schlemmer, both came out to the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf outing. They competed. I'm not going to say who won, but I know they had side bets and all that kind of stuff. So coming up in tomorrow's show, we're going to have those two heads on, not just to talk about the golf, but summer, what's life like as a football coach during the summer, the things you're trying to get done, getting ready for the season that is going to be here before we know it. So we'll have those two guys on tomorrow's show as well. Also, Cole Rusk, who was gracious enough to get back up to the Quad Cities and join us this past weekend for the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf outing. He wants to do a victory lap. I need to let him do a victory lap because the Illini beat the Hawkeyes. And then also we'll talk to him about the season that's coming up as well. So Cole Rusk tomorrow, Nick Welch tomorrow, John Schlemmer tomorrow, and then also I'm hoping to track down Derek Steckline. The Pleasant Valley boys baseball team off to a great start. I think they're 16-2 in the season, 8-0 in MAC play. Big one tonight. They play North tonight, who's 7-1 and playing really good baseball. But we'll try to catch up with Pleasant Valley's Derek Steckline coming up later in the week, possibly tomorrow as well. Also, we didn't talk enough about it, but the Quad City Steamwheelers winning once again. So they had that 2-game losing streak, and since then it's been nothing but winning. I think they're 9-2 now. An impressive victory at home this past weekend. So we'll have Steamwheeler Wednesday coming up on Wednesday. A lot of good vibes and excitement around the Quad City Steamwheelers. I had several people at the outing this weekend talk to me about the Wheelers. They enjoy the Wheelers Wednesday, brought to you by XUSD. So there's a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz, and there's a hope of a championship here in the Quad Cities, and they don't shy away from it. They expect it. They want to be in big games in the playoffs here in the Quad Cities back at home, and they have championship expectations. So we'll catch up with them coming up on Wednesday as well. That and a whole bunch more throughout the week right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Super excited to get things rolling. People wondering, it's Monday. Where's Pat Angerer? Pat not able to join us today. We're going to catch up with him on Thursday. And God knows he's going to have plenty to talk about after a fun weekend on the golf course. So we want to thank you guys for watching, and we want to thank our sponsors, as always, for allowing us to do this show each and every day here in the Quad Cities. Thanks for watching a Monday edition of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. We will be back with another edition coming up tomorrow. We'll see you then.